The alley was narrow, a claustrophobic corridor of brick and steel that swallowed sound and spat out echoes. The hum of the city faded behind her as Lieutenant Commander Alex Kane adjusted the duffel strap across her shoulder. She moved like someone who had seen too many missions go wrong and lived to tell the tale, not out of luck, but skill sharpened to instinct. Every footstep was deliberate, every flicker of her eyes was calculation. Behind her, the three men moved like predators who thought they had already won. They'd been following her for 15 minutes. A sleek black van had trailed her from the harbor's edge, through 2 intersections, and finally to the darkened warehouse district. She had noticed them the moment they switched lanes to mirror her turn. The reflections in the puddles, the faint crunch of boots on wet concrete, it was all too familiar. She'd been hunted before, but this was different. These weren't random thugs. Their steps were too synchronized, their silhouettes too clean. Ex-military, maybe mercenaries. The kind of men who thought honor could be bought by the highest bidder. Alex slowed, pretending to check her phone. Her reflection glinted in a broken glass window, 3 figures fanned out behind her, forming a triangle. Classic ambush formation. Her lips curved into a small, dangerous smile. They think I don't see them. The voice in her head was calm, clinical. Years of SEAL training had built that inner command center. No panic, no hesitation, just patterns, angles, and reaction times measured in fractions of a second. One of the men, tall and lean with a shaved head, motioned with his chin. They were maybe 30 feet away. On my mark, he whispered. The leader raised his weapon, a compact silenced pistol, and aimed. The muzzle glinted faintly in the light from a broken street lamp. The fog made halos around the beam, the kind that turned moments like these into ghost stories later told in barracks. Alex pretended to fumble her phone. Her shoulder dipped. Her duffel bag shifted just enough to reveal the faint outline of something metallic inside. Her heart rate didn't rise. If anything, it slowed. She could feel every heartbeat, every breath, every second stretch out. Take her down, the leader hissed. The first shot cracked softly through the mist. But by the time the bullet left the barrel, Alex was already moving. She dropped low, twisting her body sideways, the world turning into a blur of instinct and precision. The round tore through the air where her head had been half a second earlier. She hit the ground, rolled, and came up behind a concrete pillar. The duffel unzipped in one clean motion, her hand finding cold steel, her modified Sig Sauer P320, SEAL standard issue, her oldest ally. Another shot. Sparks flew as it clipped the pillar. Alex exhaled once, slow and steady, and peeked around the edge. The fog thickened, wrapping around them like a cloak. The men shifted nervously. She's behind the column. One barked. No visual. Another responded. Alex smiled again. That's the thing about visuals, she thought. By the time you see me, it's already too late. She counted steps. Left, right, center. 3 men, all closing in from different angles. They thought they were predators. They were about to learn they were prey. Her mind replayed an old memory, training in Coronado, the instructors yelling as she crawled through mud under live fire. Faster than fear, faster than thought. That phrase had stuck. It wasn't just a motto, it was the difference between life and death. Alex moved like water, fluid, silent, unstoppable. She ducked, slid across the wet ground, and fired once. The first man's weapon spun out of his hand as the bullet struck his wrist. He howled, falling to his knees. Before his partners could react, Alex was already shifting positions, ghosting through the fog like a phantom. Where is she? On the left, I think. Another shot. The second man went down, his leg giving out. He dropped his gun, hands scrambling for cover that wasn't there. The leader froze for half a second too long, and that was all Alex needed. She lunged forward, grabbed his arm, and slammed him against the wall. The impact echoed down the alley. His weapon clattered to the ground. He was big, strong, maybe ex-Marine. He swung wildly, trying to grab her. Alex parried his punch, spun behind him, and twisted his arm until she heard the satisfying crack of bone. He dropped to the ground, gasping, and looked up at her with disbelief in his eyes. Who the hell are you? He choked out. Alex's eyes were cold steel in the dim light. Someone you shouldn't have followed. She pulled a small badge from her pocket, flipping it open for just a moment. The embossed golden trident caught the faint light, the unmistakable emblem of the Navy SEALs. The man's eyes widened. You, yeah, she interrupted softly. SEAL. The word hung in the air like a verdict. Alex looked around. One down and bleeding, one unconscious, one clutching a broken arm. Her duffel bag lay nearby, its zipper half open, revealing classified documents marked top secret. She holstered her gun and crouched by the leader. "Who sent you?" He said nothing, only glared. "CIA, private contractor." She tilted her head. "Or someone who doesn't like that I know too much." Still silence. She sighed. "Fine, stay quiet, but let your boss know, next time, send someone who can aim faster than I can move." She started to walk away, but the man groaned and spat blood. "You think this is over?" He snarled. "You've made enemies you can't even see." Alex paused at the edge of the fog, her silhouette fading into the night. "I've been fighting ghosts my whole life," she said. "The difference is, I always see them first." Then she was gone, melting into the dark like she had never been there at all. Behind her, sirens wailed faintly in the distance. Someone must have heard the shots. The wounded men lay in a heap of confusion and failure, realizing too late that they had hunted a legend. Because there are soldiers, and then there are Navy SEALs. And sometimes, bullets simply aren't fast enough. Alex vanished into the night, her mind already calculating her next move. She had files that could expose a betrayal inside the government, and someone powerful enough to hire killers wanted her silenced. But as she disappeared into the maze of the city, her pulse steady, her eyes sharp, one truth was clear. They had just fired the first shot in a war they couldn't win. And the woman they tried to kill was about to strike back harder, faster, and smarter than any of them could imagine. Morning sunlight filtered through the blinds of a small safe house tucked in a forgotten corner of San Diego's industrial district. Dust hung in the beams of light like drifting snowflakes, and the faint hum of passing ships echoed through the walls. Alex sat on the edge of a metal table, sleeves rolled up, cleaning her gun with methodical precision. Each movement was quiet, deliberate, ritualistic. In front of her lay the duffel bag, now open, its contents spread across a worn map. Photos, coded files, and a flash drive sealed in a weatherproof casing. The night's encounter had confirmed what she already suspected. Someone on the inside wanted her dead. But who? The documents she had recovered 2 weeks ago detailed a covert operation called Spectre Reach. It was supposed to be a classified joint mission between U.S. intelligence and a private security firm operating in the Middle East, but buried in the data logs were coordinates that didn't match official mission records. Illegal strikes, civilian deaths. Someone had used the operation to cover up a black market weapons trade. And now that Alex knew the truth, she had become the liability. Her jaw tightened as she slid the clean pistol back into its holster. "All right," she muttered to herself. "If they want a war, I'll give them one." She reached for the phone, one that couldn't be traced. A single contact sat in the memory, Reaper. She hesitated only for a heartbeat before dialing. A gravelly voice answered on the second ring. "You're alive. That's good. Thought I'd be attending your funeral this morning." "Not yet," Alex replied dryly. "But they're getting desperate. 3 hitters last night, former Marines, trained. Which means whoever's behind this has deep pockets," Reaper said. "What do you need?" "Intel. I want eyes on everyone connected to Spectre Reach, especially Colonel Harlan Briggs." There was a pause. "Briggs? He's Pentagon brass. You really think?" "I know," Alex cut in. "He authorized those phantom operations. And I have proof. He's selling US tech through ghost channels." The line went quiet for a moment. Then, Reaper sighed. "All right, but going after a man like Briggs means you're not coming back from this quiet. You ready for that?" Alex glanced at her reflection in the cracked window. A faint scar ran across her cheekbone, a reminder of past battles. Her eyes, cold, sharp, unwavering, looked right back at her. "I stopped being afraid of not coming back a long time ago." That night, the city glowed with neon veins, bars, ports, and high-rises pulsing with life. Alex moved through the chaos unnoticed, dressed in a black tactical jacket and faded jeans. Beneath her calm surface, every sense was alive, calculating. Reaper's intel had come through. Colonel Briggs was hosting a private meeting at an exclusive yacht club. No official record, no security logs, just a handful of men in suits who thought the ocean breeze could wash away their sins. Alex parked 2 blocks away, stepping out into the chill air. The sound of waves slapping against the pier mixed with distant laughter from the party. She moved fast, blending into the shadows, slipping past surveillance cameras she'd already looped remotely. Through a pair of binoculars, she spotted him, Briggs, tall, silver-haired, wearing a self-satisfied grin that made her fists tighten. Beside him stood a man she recognized from the alley the night before, same posture, same build. One of the shooters. So, she thought, you survived. Good. It meant he could talk. Alex waited for her moment. The music on the yacht grew louder as more guests arrived, glasses clinking, laughter rising. She slipped onto the dock, her boots silent against the planks. When the shooter stepped off the boat for a smoke, she was already behind him. A sharp twist, a grip around his throat, and a quiet thud as he hit the ground. Alex dragged him behind a crate, pressed the cold muzzle of her pistol to his jaw, and whispered, "Round 2. Want to tell me who signs your checks this time?" He coughed, panic in his eyes. "You don't understand, Briggs isn't the top. There's someone else. They call him Shadow 9. Who is he? I don't know. Nobody does. Briggs gets orders, money moves offshore, weapons disappear. You were never supposed to see those files." Alex's pulse quickened. "In the hit, Briggs ordered it himself. Said you had something that could burn the whole house down." She smirked. "He's not wrong." Before he could respond, she jabbed his neck with a tranquilizer dart. He slumped silently to the ground. Dash dash dash. Inside the yacht, the air was thick with cigar smoke and arrogance. Men in tailored suits laughed about numbers that represented lives, not profits. Alex moved through the lower deck, bypassing guards with surgical precision. She found the server room, a small space humming with encrypted routers. She plugged in a device, fingers dancing across the keyboard. Within seconds, she had access to the ship's network. Her screen filled with documents, financial records, digital contracts, signatures. Evidence. Enough to take Briggs and his mysterious partner down for good. But then she heard it, footsteps. Heavy ones. She turned. Briggs stood at the doorway, flanked by 2 guards. "I had a feeling you'd show up, Commander Kane," he said coolly. "Always were too righteous for your own good." Alex's stance didn't waver. "And you were always too greedy for the uniform you wore." Briggs smirked. "You think you're some kind of hero? The world isn't black and white anymore. It's business. You should have taken the offer when I made it." "I don't take bribes," she said, her hand resting casually near her holster. "No," he sneered, "you just take lives." In one motion, he drew his weapon. But seals react faster than bullets. Before the muzzle flashed, Alex moved, a blur of precision and training. Her body dropped low, gun sweeping up. 2 shots cracked in perfect rhythm. Both guards dropped before their triggers were halfway pulled. Briggs froze, disbelief plastered on his face. Alex stepped forward, gun leveled at his chest. "End of the line, Colonel." He raised his hands, but the smirk never left his face. "You think you've won. You don't even know who you're fighting. Shadow 9 will erase you before dawn." "I've spent my life fighting shadows," she said. "This time, I'm burning them all." She shot the monitor behind him, sparks flying, the hard drives igniting. The explosion of light and smoke filled the cabin as she disappeared into the chaos. Dash dash dash. Hours later, from the rooftop of a distant building, Alex watched the yacht burn against the horizon, a blazing symbol of the rot she had just exposed. Her encrypted data stick sat in her hand, its light blinking. A message came through her earpiece, "Reaper again. You got it done. Briggs is finished. Files are secure. But there's someone else behind this, Shadow 9. Reaper exhaled. "Then this isn't over." Alex's gaze stayed fixed on the fire across the water. "No," she said quietly. "It's just beginning." The wind whipped through her hair as the sirens wailed in the distance, blending with the sound of crashing waves. She holstered her weapon, straightened her jacket, and disappeared into the night once more. A ghost forged by the sea, moving faster than fear, faster than bullets, and deadlier than anyone who dared to chase her. Because Lieutenant Commander Alex Kane wasn't just surviving anymore. She was hunting.